Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we have begun chapter 15 of Canto 8. Chapter 15 is entitled Bali Maharaj Conquers the Heavenly Planets. So there is no purport to the first 27 verses. Srila Prabhupada gives a purport in the 28th verse. So I will read through the English translations of verse 1 to 27, and then we can chant the verse on the board, which is text 28. So, verse 1, Maharaj Parikshit inquired, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the proprietor of everything. Why did he beg 3 paces of land from Bali Maharaj like a poor man? And when he got the gift for which he had begged, why did he nonetheless arrest Bali Maharaj? I'm very anxious to know the mystery of these contradictions. Sukadev Goswami said, O king, when Bali Maharaj lost all his opulence and died in the fight, Sukracharya, a descendant of Bhrigu, brought him back to life. Because of this, the great soul Bali Maharaj became a disciple of Sukracharya and began to serve him with great faith, offering everything he had. The Brahmin descendants of Bhrigu were very pleased with Bali Maharaj, who desired to conquer the kingdom of Indra. Therefore, after purifying him and properly bathing him according to regulative principles, they engaged him in performing the yajna known as Vishvajit. When ghee, clarified butter, was offered in the fire of sacrifice, there appeared from the fire a celestial chariot covered with gold and silk. There also appeared yellow horses like those of Indra, and a flag marked with a lion. A gilded bow, 2 quivers of infallible arrows, and celestial armour also appeared. Bali Maharaj's grandfather Prahlad Maharaj offered Bali a garland of flowers that would never fade, and Sukracharya gave him a conch shell. Text 7. When Maharaj Bali had thus performed the special ritualistic ceremony advised by the Brahmanas and had received by their grace the equipment for fighting, he circumambulated the Brahmanas and offered them obeisances. He also saluted Prahlad Maharaj and offered obeisances to him. Then, after getting on the chariot given by Sukracharya, Bali Maharaj, decorated with a nice garland but put protective armour on his body, equipped himself with a bow and took up a sword and a quiver of arrows. When he sat down on the seat of the chariot, his arms decorated with golden bangles and his ears with sapphire earrings, he shone like worshipable fire. When he assembled with his own soldiers and the demon chiefs who were equal to him in strength, opulence and beauty, they appeared as if they would swallow the sky and burn all directions with their vision. After this gathering the demoniac soldiers, Bali Maharaj departed for the opulent capital of Indra. Indeed, he seemed to make the entire surface of the world tremble. King Indra's city was full of pleasing orchards and gardens, such as the Nandana garden. Because of the weight of the flowers, leaves and fruit, the branches of the eternally existing trees were bending down. The gardens were visited by pairs of chirping birds and singing bees. The entire atmosphere was celestial. Beautiful women, protected by the demigods, sported in the gardens. which had lotus ponds full of swans, cranes, chakravakas and ducks. The city was surrounded by trenches full of Ganges water, known as Akasha Ganga, and by a high wall which was the colour of fire. Upon this wall were parapets for fighting. The doors were made of solid gold plates, and the gates were of excellent marble. These were linked by various public roads. The entire city had been constructed by Vishvakarma. The city was full of courtyards, wide roads, assembly houses, and not less than 100 million airplanes. The crossroads were made of pearl, and there were sitting places made of diamond and coral. Everlastingly beautiful and youthful women who were dressed with clean garments glittered in the city like fires with flames. They possessed all the quality of Syama. Actually, Prabhupada gives a small purport here. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a hint of the quality of Syama woman, a woman whose body is very warm during the winter and cool during the summer, and who generally has a very firm breast called Syama. Text 18. The breezes blowing in the streets of the city bore the fragrance of the flowers falling from the hair of the women of the demigods. Apsaras passed on the street, which were covered with white, fragrant smoke of aguru incense emanating from the windows with golden filigree. The city was shaded by canopies decorated with pearls, and the domes of the palaces had flags of pearls and gold. The city always resounded with the vibrations of peacocks, pigeons, and bees, and above the city flew airplanes full of beautiful women who constantly chanted auspicious songs that were very pleasing to the ear. The city was filled with the sounds of mridangas, conch shells, and kettle drums, flutes, and well-tuned stringed instruments all playing in concert. There was constant dancing, and the Gandharvas sang. The combined beauty of Indrapuri defeated beauty personified. Text 22. No one who was sinful, envious, violent towards other living entities, cunning, falsely proud, lusty or greedy could enter that city. The people who lived there were all devoid of these faults. Bali Maharaj, who was the commander of a numberless soldiers, gathered his soldiers outside this abode of Indra and attacked it from all directions. He sounded the conch shell given him by his spiritual master Sukracharya, thus creating a fearful situation for women protected by Indra. Seeing Bali Maharaj's indefatigable endeavour and understanding his motive, King Indra, along with the other demigods, approached his spiritual master Brihaspati and spoke as follows. My lord, our old enemy Bali Maharaj has now new enthusiasm, and he has obtained such astonishing power that we think perhaps we cannot resist his prowess. No one anywhere can counteract this military arrangement of Bali's. It now appears that Bali is trying to drink up the entire universe with his mouth, lick up the 10 directions with his tongue, and raise fire in every direction with his eyes. Indeed, he has arisen like the annihilating fire known as Samvartaka. Kindly inform me, what is the cause for Bali Maharaj's strength, endeavour, influence and victory? How has he become so enthusiastic? So now we are looking at text 28, which is on the board here. Just repeat after me. Shri Guru Ruvacha Janami Magavan Chatro Unaterasya Karnam Sisyayo pabritam tejo Mrigo bir brahmavadi bi Shri Guru Uvacha Brihaspati said, Janam, I know, Bhagavan, O Indra, Shatru, of the enemy, Unate, of the elevation, Asya, of him, Karanam, the cause, Shishyaya, unto the disciple, Upabritam, endowed, Teja, power, Brigubi, by the descendants of Brigu, Brahmavadibi, all powerful Brahmins. Translation. Brihaspati, the spiritual master of the demigods, said, O Indra, I know the cause for your enemies becoming so powerful. The Brahmin descendants of Bhrigu Muni, being pleased by Bali Maharaj, their disciple, endowed him with such extraordinary power. Purpose Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. Brihaspati, the spiritual master of the demigods, informed Indra, ordinarily Bali and his forces could not achieve such strength. But it appears that the Brahmana descendants of Bhrigu Muni, being pleased with Bali Maharaj, endowed them with this spiritual power. In other words, Brihaspati informed Indra that Bali Maharaj's prowess was not his own, but that of his exalted guru, Sukracharya. We sing in our daily prayers, Yasya prasada bhagavat prasado, Yasya prasadana gati katopi. By the pleasure of the spiritual master, one can get extraordinary power, especially in spiritual advancement. The blessings of the spiritual master are more powerful than one's personal endeavour for such advancement. Narottam Dastakor therefore says, Guru Mukha Padma Vaikya Chite Te Kuriya Raikya Arana Kuriya Manayasa. Especially for spiritual advancement, one should carry out the bona fide order of the spiritual master. By the Parampara system, one can thus be endowed with the original spiritual power coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajase O Vidhu. So, I'd like to thank all the Vaishnava devotees for allowing me to sit here on Vasusrestha and speak. Hopefully some meaningful words. This is my first time I've sat on the Vasusrestha in Vrindavan. I offer my obeisances to my spiritual master Srila Prabhupada and ask the assembled Vaishnavas for their blessing to speak something meaningful. Low, unqualified as I am, nevertheless my spiritual master's wish was that when asked to speak about topics of the Supreme Lord, one should not hesitate to do so. Such mukam karodi vachalam pangam langate grihim yat kripam tamaham vande Sri Guru Dinatarine. So, we have 27 verses which we've been through in this in the beginning. We hear how Sukracharya, the spiritual master Bali Maharaj, by his severe austerities, Brahmana Tejas was able to pass on so many wonderful gifts to Bali Maharaj, who, after performing his sacrifice, was given strength, weapons, chariots, horses, armor, everything enabling him once again to attack King Indra. And then there is a description of the beauty of Indraloka, the desired goal. of the demons and the residence of the demigods. It's described there that the people who are living in Indraprastha are sinless. They're free from envy, pride, prejudice, and nevertheless, although sinless, they're still tainted with the material modes of goodness and passion. Actually, the other night I was at the Chaitanya Charitam reading with Guru Kripa, and we were reading from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and in the 5th chapter of Adi Leela, in the verse that was in the beautiful verse, Chintamani Prakara Sattvasakalpa Vriksha, there was a very elaborate purport. And in that purport, Srila Prabhupada described the beauty of Vaikuntha Dham. I was thinking that it might be appropriate if I could just read a few lines from that description, because when we heard about the heavenly planets, we can understand how people of less intelligence would want to go there, because it sounds like a very, very thousands of times better than living here on this earth planet. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada, he describes Vaikuntha Dham, which is beyond the realm of the material world. So if you bear with me, I'll just say a few sentences about it. The residents of Vaikuntha have brilliantly black complexions and much more fascinating and attractive than the dull white and black complexions found in the material world. Their bodies, being spiritual, have no equals in the material world. The beauty of a bright cloud when lightning flashes on it merely hints at their beauty. Generally, the inhabitants of Vaikuntha dress in yellow clothing. Their bodies are delicate and attractively built, and their eyes are like petals of lotus flowers. Like Lord Vishnu, the residents of Vaikuntha have 4 hands decorated with a conch shell, wheel, club, and lotus flower. Their chests are beautifully broad and fully decorated with necklaces of brilliant diamond-like metal surrounded by costly jewels never to be found in the material world. The residents of Vaikuntha are always powerful and effulgent. Some of them have complexions like red coral cat's eyes and lotus flowers, and each of them has earrings of costly jewels. On their heads they wear flowery crowns resembling garlands. In the Vaikunthas there are airplanes, but they make no tumultuous sounds. These airplanes do not fly business executives, politicians, or planning commissions as passengers. Nor do they carry cargo or postal bags, for they are all unknown there. These planes are for pleasure trips only, and the residents of Vaikuntha fly in them with their heavenly beautiful fairy-like consorts. Therefore these airplanes, full of residents of Vaikuntha, both male and female, increase the beauty of the spiritual sky. We cannot imagine how beautiful they are, but their beauty may be compared to the clouds in the sky accompanied by silver branches of electric lightning. The spiritual sky Vaikuntha Loka is always decorated in this way. And then Srila Prabhupada goes on to describe that Vaikuntha Lokas are populated by so many goddesses of fortune who are always merry and full of mirth, and they're always chanting about the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so the air is saturated with Krishna Katha. So that is the Vaikuntha planet. So we have described the heavenly planets, we have described Vaikuntha. Prabhupada goes on further in the purport to speak a little bit about Goloka Dham, because it would be incomplete not to mention the beauty of Goloka Dham. The particular aspect about Goloka Dham, Goloka Vrindavan Dham, is what is bewildering to the Gyanis, the yogis, what to speak of materialists, is that there is none of this opulence there that we've just heard on Indraloka and Vaikuntha Loka. There are no opulent buildings, great assembly houses, airplanes in the sky or constructed gardens. Actually, Vrindavan Dham is just natural setting, just forests full of trees. And of course, there's Govardhan, with its beautiful streams and caves and soft sand. And the luxury of Vrindavan is the fragrance that is emanating from all these beautiful trees and flowers. The smell is intoxicating from all the fruits, all the birds, bees, the peacocks,